Hey everybody, welcome to Tokyo. This is the Jimbocho area, not too far away from Meiji University. And I came here to give you a look and see what Tokyo is like today, March 11th, 2020. There's a pedestrian walkway here in the Jimbocho area, which is really nice. It's kind of a secret place. Not a lot of people come to this area of Tokyo. This is where the publishing center was, so you'll find a lot of old bookstores, and Shueisha's here. How you doing? Shueisha's here, which is the publisher of Shonen Jump, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, you know. Well, maybe you don't. But I'm here to talk about the title, which is Visit or Avoid. Should you cancel? I've done this many times before, and the situation is always changing, and as time goes by, I feel like I need to kind of tell you what's going on here on the ground, give you my version, our version, and give you a chance to look and see with your own two eyes. I think that's the best indicator of what the situation is right now. You can see here, people are acting normally. Many people are wearing a mask that are using public transportation and going into crowded areas. I'm standing on the corner avoiding people, but in the sunshine, there really isn't a risk. I come by bicycle. I've gone now over 10 days of not taking public transportation, strictly riding a bicycle, and that's got me in some pretty good shape. Today is super warm. I actually have shorts on. It's about 20 degrees or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like spring-like. And I'm probably gonna go in the next few days to check out the index tree at Yasukuni Shrine to see what the cherry blossoms are doing. We might be a few days earlier than normal, which is pretty incredible. But today is an important day. Before I give you the rundown, and everything that you need to know will be probably in the first 10-15 minutes of this live stream, and I'll take you around to give you a more thorough view of the area. So you want to stick around. Tokyo Dome is this way, and I'll probably take you this way to see more of the city center. This is the 3/11 anniversary. 9 years ago on this day, the Great Tohoku earthquake occurred off the shore of Fukushima, and a tsunami came and took the lives of so many people before their time. And I wanted to do a more thorough talk with you about my situation with this, but it brings a tear to the eye every time I think about it and the aftermath. Not so much the day that it occurred, because we were in shock here in Japan, but the months that followed. It just breaks my heart, and now I'm trying not to think about some of the stories. But I'll say that at a later date. I just want to focus on this and just say that for the people up in Tohoku, that we're thinking about you on this day, and the whole world is, and we have not forgotten despite what's going on in the world today. So in Japan, I have here a briefing that I made myself. There's 514 people now, according to the latest news. I'm getting a lot of stuff from JNTO, which is the Japan National Travel Organization. They're also on Twitter. Japan Safe Travel is their handle, and they're doing a pretty good job of being very informative and keeping people up to date with dependable information. And I'm seeing totals have gone up, but this is as of March 10th, okay? So totals are gonna go up, but it's an indicator of where we are at this time. It's a lot less than other places around the world, but I'm not gonna, I don't think, if I go back to the title, I'm not gonna go with the number of people, but I want you to go by what the CDC and what like organizations are saying. Like the United States Department of State also has information and a level warning, and right now it's at the middle. They say that just be alert, and the US is saying travel but be alert. That's sort of where we are, like in the middle. So I think you should be that anyways. However, there's no reason not to come to Japan based on what they're saying. However, there's the caveat, right? The ultimate decision is by you. And from all of the research that I've done on what professionals are saying about this, it ultimately comes down to you, your research, and your comfort level. Because if the professionals whose job it is to determine this say that it is safe to travel here, then it is. And that's where we are right now, and it could change at any time. So it's very important for you to do the research. That's why I'm doing these live streams, so you can see and add this to the list that you need to to study. Yesterday, Prime Minister Abe, who I think, this is me personally, is doing an excellent job there's no way he's going to be able to come out with a political win in a crisis like this, but I think he's doing an excellent job of trying to find answers. He's being strong, keeping people safe here in Japan, and maybe it was too late. You can do all the criticisms that you want of politicians, and I'm going to, in this, just keep watching. But I think that he's been a leader, and he's led, and he's been doing more than I ever expected, actually. So he yesterday announced the extension of closures for 10 more days. That started yesterday, the 10th. So things that were closed until the 15th, probably, I think, if I understand it right, till the 20th. Now, the Prime Minister does not have the power to call a state of emergency, but that should be decided on Friday as lawmakers vote on this. What does that mean? It means that what he says is just a suggestion to businesses to close. And in Japan, people follow the leaders. That's one of the reasons why I think the numbers have been down. People are just staying off the streets. This is the lunch hour rush here, all right? We're at the end. People are supposed to be going back to the office. The streets are usually completely full here. And today, there's just not a lot of people going into the office at all. A lot of people that are walking the streets are people who live in the area. The shops are still open. McDonald's is still open, as you can see over there on the other side. The doors are open on a spring-like day, and customers are going in and out. Yeah. Some of the announcements yesterday were significant. What is going to stay closed? I can tell you this. Ghibli Museum was one of the first museums, one of the first places where people go in masses, came out to announce that they're going to stay closed indefinitely until otherwise noted now. And I think that's a pretty smart thing, because if the Prime Minister gets the power to call a state of emergency, then they can order businesses to close, and it just makes sense. Let's just wait and see. So I think it's a pretty responsible thing by Ghibli Museum to do that. When it comes to Tokyo Disneyland and Universal Studios, these are the two big draws to Tokyo and Osaka. And right now, I've been waiting a little bit to see if they would announce anything. There's nothing announced. I checked on the Disney website, and they said that it's still scheduled to open on the 16th, which was the original plan. And they have not made an announcement whether or not they're going to change that. So it's just kind of a wait and see for a lot of people that are very much interested, including myself. I don't know if I would go right away, but if they opened, I don't know. I don't think we would go. I don't think we would go. If they do open, they might do what a lot of schools are going to be doing. Some of the schools will open. It depends on the location, the region, just because parents can't work if their children are at home. They need a babysitter, or they need to take care of them. So some schools are opening, but instead of just opening the way that they did, they've spent this time preparing for it, meaning they're getting screening equipment. They're going to be taking temperatures of students, which is part of the health, and the students are going to be able to have their kyushoku, or meals for lunch, taken care of. That's a big deal. But until then, the Prime Minister yesterday announced that he's going to be giving office workers about 8,000 yen per day if they have children, to help with the cost of not going to work. And the big debate was freelancers, people like me. I don't have any kids, and I'll be okay because my audience is you, not here in Japan. But Kanai is here. We don't have any kids, though. But originally, freelancers weren't going to get anything, but now they're going to get 4,000, about a little bit over 4,000 yen, which is about, $40. And office workers working for corporations, $80. And I don't understand why freelancers get half, but it's better than nothing. That's what I say. And this is a tough time, so I can understand. They're still debating it, but he unveiled a $4.2 billion package, and I think it's going to be a package that a lot of other countries follow. So Japan is a leader in this, having the first kind of announcement where they're doing stimulus packages for businesses. A lot of businesses in Japan have closed. I'm going to cross the street here, and it's really hurt the country. The tourism industry is in an awful state right now. A lot of small businesses, I've been watching the TV, have closed. Family hotels, restaurants, ryokan, even baths things like Hakone, a lot of restaurants that dealt with tourists, had English menus, and that was a big part of their income, have closed down. And that's caused a lot of problems, a lot of economic problems. They're going to have a loss of billions of dollars in this quarter and probably extend for most of the year. I have some news on the Olympics as well. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I'm hoping this is all useful to you. Click the thumbs up button and like if you think it is, and then I'll do some more. I do this based on your feedback. The biggest indicator is, I think, for us especially, was the dollar and the yen. I'm gonna just put this down for a second here. This map here, I printed this out. This is the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. This is just a 28-day cycle. At about 2 weeks ago, it was at a high of 112 yen. You see that? Amazing. I was pretty happy. And then it just dipped and dipped and dipped and dipped and dipped, and then you saw the economy just go down with things happening in the US. It went down to a 3-year low of under 102 yen. That is a massive drop, from about a 10% drop in the power of the dollar versus the Japanese yen. And it's starting to rebound, but that gives you an indication of what's going on. And I think that's important to know. If you come to Japan, you're going to be paying 10% more just based on the strength of your dollar. I don't know if a lot of you follow the currency exchanges, but it's been pretty chaotic. That's just in the last week, everybody. It's gone from 100, like the bottom fell out in like a week to 10 days. And we'll see what happens. If it's starting to stabilize a little bit, but you can see those who are in the stock market might have made had some big losses to deal with. You know who you are. Hey, Tony P, happy to see you're doing well. Thank you for keeping us all informed. You're very welcome. I very much appreciate that. Yeah, the bill will be passed for Prime Minister Abe if he can continue with, if he can call a state of emergency. And that's kind of a good thing, to be able to deal with it more quickly if he has that power. Opposition is more reluctant to give him that, but once again, like who could do a better job in the Japanese government? I'm having a hard time of thinking of somebody else who could be a better leader than Prime Minister Abe at this time. So, yeah, I'm quite satisfied with the job that he's doing, but I'm not a citizen and can't vote for him. So, although I would. So we won't know that until the 13th. All right, situations at the store, everybody. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Tokyo. It's warm. It's 20 degrees. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow as well. The situation on masks. Shopping. News break. Kanai just wrote to me and said that she could not find toilet paper at the supermarket or any stores. But not to worry, I have 10 days supply, which is a normal supply, and I'll buy what I need and take what I can. And I guess we can ration it out and stretch that out to a good 2 weeks. Just don't shake my left hand. All right. But these problems have not gone completely ignored by the government, all right? Yesterday, Prime Minister Abe and the government have formed a mask team. Remember the A-Team in the 1980s, this team of professionals that went out to save the world using helicopters, specialized cars, and missiles? Nobody ever died, but which is a good thing. But now we have in Japan a mask team. Literally, that's the name of it, the mask team. And the mask team is some lawmakers in their 70s, some of them might be in their 60s, and they've cracked down hard on mask abusers. This is a good thing. The mask team is working hard for us. Thank goodness, because I'm out of masks except for an angel, Floor in Singapore, sent us like a 10-day supply. So, you know, much thanks and love, Floor in Singapore. Thank you. So we'll be okay. But get this, what has the mask team done? Well, they've slammed down the hammer on resellers of masks. So if you're selling masks for profit, you can now face a 1 million yen fine, which is about $10,000, and or 1 year in prison. I'd like to see these people get the prison time. I'll be honest with you. They've created a market where people are buying masks, like 5 days worth of masks for up to $100. and they're making massive amount of money. This includes a politician, and he needs to be called out. When I saw the news, I have never been so upset in a 24-hour period as I have when I saw this pop up on the news. It was an assemblyman from Shizuoka. You don't have to say his name, you're gonna Google it. An assemblyman from Shizuoka revealed that he made 8.9 million yen, or about $9,000. Sorry, $90,000? Is that's a lot of money. Selling packets of 2,000 face masks online on the online auctions for between 30 to 170,000 each. Yeah, he made about $90,000 reselling masks. A politician. What? He later apologized, and he gave a very low bow where cameras snapped his picture of the top of his head at a 90-degree angle for like a minute. I hope he's disciplined, but this is before the law, so he will not be facing any jail time, and I think that's why he fessed up. Smart. Despicable, but smart. All right, there's some news on the Olympic Games. Let's walk a little bit. I love live streaming in the city like this because people... And I promise to get through all the news within the first 15 minutes or so we're almost there. You get to just take a look here. You always get a lot of attention when you talk to a smartphone and walk down the street. But this is what it's like in the center of Tokyo in Jimbocho. And I'm gonna walk down to the intersection over there. I have some news on the Olympic Games here. This comes from the Japan Times, which got it from Reuters. We're not sure about the Tokyo Olympic Games yet, but it's going on as planned. Hey Jessica, thank you. If we plan to mostly be going outdoor activities, hikes and such, would you say our risk is lower? I'm gonna get to that. That's a great question. ASMR Johnny, I'm always in your Discord. Hey, and I'm helping you with anxiety, and it's helping with anxiety on a trip in April. You're very welcome. You mentioned Discord. I'm analog. Here you go. This is free, and this is where you can take the chat afterwards. There's people living in Japan and traveling to Japan right now that are giving information in our Only in Japan Discord. We have a department for this. Go in here, download it, and join us. It's free. Yeah. Thanks for that. There was an opportunity to bring it up. Also, I'm like standing in front of a post office. It's hard for me, post box. It's hard for me not to do this, but I'm sending these out to Jonathan and Toby and Denise in the United Kingdom, and Jonathan in the USA. This is the Postcard Club postcard for this month. Thank you so much for signing up yesterday. And I'm putting this in the box right here. It's on the way to you from Jimbocho. Thanks so much for the support. That's on Patreon. Okay, back to the Olympic Games, everybody. So, event organizers are not discussing it, all right? It's going on as planned. There's nothing's been decided, nothing has been discussed. However, breaking about 3 hours ago or so, an organizing committee members say, and when they say organizing committee members, that means that they're like anonymous. So take it with a grain of salt, I guess, but a lot of people are asking about this. If the Olympic Games can't be held in Tokyo this summer due to the global outbreak of the coronavirus, did I just say that? I wasn't supposed to say that. A delay of 1 or 2 years would be most realistic option. Let me say that again. If the Olympics can't be held in Tokyo this summer due to this current situation, a delay of 1 or 2 years would be the most realistic option, a Tokyo Olympic Committee executive board member told the Wall Street Journal. I don't like to hear that. I've been hoping for the Olympics since 2007 when I ran the first Tokyo Marathon, and I got a pin that Tokyo was a pledge city for the 2008 Olympics. And Beijing won, then London won, then who won in 2016? That other country won, Brazil. And now we won. We won our Olympics. And London, do not try to take it away from us. Londoners are saying, come back to London, we'll do it if they can. It's not gonna happen. We've invested a lot in this, including me. I pay more than my fair of taxes here in Japan, and I'm proud to do that. But I'm a little bit heartbroken about this news. But again, it's an anonymous disclosure from a committee member, so I take it with a grain of salt. As I said, the schools are reopening. The Japanese government now also, if you're from Korea, if you're from China, Hong Kong, and certain parts of Iran, Italy, and the Republic of San Marino, you might be facing a mandatory 2-week stay in a special location that's hopefully comfortable. I'm digging into this, where this location is, where you get to sit and relax before you can enter into Japan officially. I'm not sure how this works. There's a lot of confusion behind this. A lot of people in Korea and some of the other countries are not happy about it, understandably. But again, I think you have to make some really hard choices, and Prime Minister Abe has delayed this for a long time. The United States hasn't gone this far. But this is something that I said in the last couple of updates. You should be ready for anything. Meaning, if you are coming, you should be ready for a cancellation or closure or having to get back to the airport right away. But right now we have a 2-week mandatory stay for those who are here, who are coming here. So if you come here and your passport's from certain regions, JNTO has all of the details. I'll put a link in the description to that, as well as updates on this. If you aren't feeling well, there's a phone number right now for the JNTO 24-hour hotline. For any travel situations, you can call this number, 050-3816-2787. They will help you. In fact, if you're coming down with a fever or something, call this number and they will guide you to a place and help you get ready for it in English, Chinese, Korean. It's okay. I called the number to ask them information about if it was safe to go to onsen, and they said yes. Just be careful about the public areas. Yeah. I haven't touched anything. I got alcohol in my pocket, wipes. I got a mask in case I'm in a crowded area. Right now I'm on a street corner and there's nobody around me, except for that lady. Insurance. The biggest thing trending on our Discord server right now with people in the chat room is an hour-long conversation between people on travel insurance. I do not know if your travel insurance covers this, because it's now bigger and it's now something that we all know about. The insurance companies know about it. Unless your policy was for that, you have to read your policy. That's what I'm saying. Or call them. But if you're coming to Tokyo, you get into Narita, you have 2 options according to JNTO. This comes from their website, and they're the government organization, so these are reputable insurance companies. Sompo Japan, Nippon Koa Insurance, SOMPO Japan, and Tokyo Marine and Nichido Fire Insurance Company. Those are 2 that are selling insurance at the airport. The insurance policies will cover you in the case of this situation. You just buy it for the days that you are staying here, and it covers. A couple of people in the Discord server have purchased it, and we're getting more information on it. There's links in JNTO directly to those pages in English for information that you could buy, I think, before you even get there. And it lays it out pretty clearly if you go to that site. So get your information from reputable sources. JNTO, Japan National Travel Organization, is one of those. I like the work that they do. They're my hero. Yeah. So that's about it. There's your news in 24 minutes or less. I'm laughing because it's such a beautiful day, and you cannot let things like this bring you down. Right in front of us is that tall building is the Tokyo Dome Hotel. That's where the visiting baseball teams would go, and Japanese baseball has said they might play games without any spectators, which means no one's going to be staying in that hotel, because that's where the visiting teams usually would stay. Crazy, right? The times we live in. Apparently, like, Uber Eats and other delivery companies are making roaring businesses. I tried to order a Domino's pizza, the wait was 90 minutes. So if you're gonna be getting a Domino's pizza, expect long waits for the delicious seafood with mayonnaise pizzas that they have. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Across the street is a new udon restaurant. Do you see that? That wasn't here last time I was in Jimbocho. So across the street next, I'll take you a little bit around to get, as I always say, observing is believing. A video says 1,000 words, and John says 10,000 words, so. Do subscribe. I think that these, all of these updates come from you. So your thumbs up make me want to do this more, and subscribing also says, hey, we want some more, we're waiting. So going back to the question now, Jessica asks, we're gonna be doing mostly outdoor activities, hikes and such. I think that that's a really good idea. Staying outside of the cities is fine. If you look at the map that's on Wikipedia, you'll find that, and I'm using their map, it's very up to date. I've cross-checked this with other sites. They're doing an excellent job, and I actually haven't done that yet, but I'm gonna donate a little bit of money to them because I know that they have to pay for bandwidth as well. They've done a really good job, and you can see up in Tohoku, not a lot of people have it up there, and it's worth going up there and hiking. The weather, it has never been better. The sun is shining, people are out a little bit more than I thought they would be, but not like usual. This is the lunchtime. Everybody's supposed to be eating lunch and going back to the office. Usually, it's all people. It's all people. Yeah. Across the street here. The determination of whether or not you should come comes from you and your comfort level and your risk. If you've got children, I would say wait. Wait until we have more information. Because unless they can feel comfortable wearing a mask and not touch their face, which is hard for even me as an adult, I would say it's not a good idea to do a family vacation to Japan right now. Wait a little bit. One of the good things, if you're a solo traveler and you're okay, hey Frank the Tank, how you doing? I love these animated emoji. Is it fist bump? That's right. But maybe elbow bump though. Maybe elbow bump. Frank the Tank. If you're thinking of coming as a solo traveler and you're an adventurer, I think that you have to assess the risks and assess the pros, and there's a lot of them right now. Discounts, places aren't very crowded, and except for this place, this is a secret cafe. And I'm gonna take you down this alley because I'm insane. Saboru 2. This is an old cafe that's been open for a long, long time, and there's a bunch of them. Jimbocho is known for having bookshops and coffee shops. And this is where the coffee culture in Japan started. Back here in the alleys of Jimbocho. And you can see they're waiting for a super voluminous, cheap lunch. Okay? And so is this pigeon right here. I think you can get like a massive plate for less than $10 there of really good food, like curry rice and stuff. There's a lot of secret restaurants in the back alleys of Jimbocho. So I'm going to take you through here now for the next 30 minutes, and I'm going to discuss about travel plans and stuff. Kanai and I rented a car. All right, let me go back to this. Okay, so if you're a solo traveler, you don't have to look at me. Look at the people. If you're a solo traveler and you're okay with possibly having to go back home and taking 14 days to do nothing, and you can afford that, I mean, look at that restaurant, right? It's so cool. And they're usually quite busy now, but around 2 p.m. after the lunch rush, they're open more freely. Hey, Raph is here. Thanks, Raph. Yeah, if you can afford that, then you can travel almost anywhere now, except for maybe some of the really, really bad areas, but you can take advantage of the travel deals. I don't think it's for everybody, and I think you really, really have to do your research and understand the risks. There's a risk that flights might be canceled for a while, there's a risk that you could come down with something and have to stay for a while. There's a lot of risks, and in these kinds of travel situations, there's risks and rewards. After 9/11, an awful incident, I went to Egypt a month later. There wasn't a soul at the Pyramid of Giza, and I went scuba diving. Nobody else was out there. I took a felucca boat down the Nile River. There was only 3 people. I think they were both Norwegian, the other 2, and then there was me. And I thought it was 10% of the original cost of the tour. They just had to pay the guide, and the guide even took a hit on that. And it was the most amazing travel that I'd ever done. That didn't have. There were some risks, of course, because we were at such an awful time. Nobody was traveling anywhere. But I was stuck in Europe because I was in Kenya when I climbed Kilimanjaro 2 days before 9/11 happened. I came down from Kilimanjaro, and we were kind of stuck in Kenya. We made it to South Africa and then flew back to Paris. I was like, I didn't know what to do, so I booked a trip to Egypt. It's like I figured. And it turned out being one of the most amazing 2-week adventures. 2 weeks with airfare was like $300 or something, if I remember that correctly. I flew Greek Airlines, Olympic Airlines, from London to Cairo via Athens. With that and the trip, I think it was something like $300 for 2 weeks. It was insane. What is that? Is that not really cool? What's Harrison Ford doing here on a wall in Jimbocho? Oh, Christine writes, how did I find out about that? I was in a supermarket in Nairobi, and in Swahili, they kept on repeating the same thing on the radio in the background. New York, Bush, like there's a lot of keywords. White House. They said it in Swahili, but I could understand certain keywords. The result, and I said, wait, something's going on, because they didn't stop announcing it. I ran back to the hotel we were at, and they had an internet cafe and a TV, and everyone was watching the TV, and it said America under attack. I don't know if you remember the headlines of CNN at the time, and that's how I found out. And I jumped on the internet and I had a bunch of emails asking if I was okay. Yeah, and then they told us to get out of Nairobi because they had problems there a couple of years earlier with the same group, and we flew back. And I remember the immigration officer at the airport in Nairobi. He was really, really sad and apologized. He said he was really he felt bad and said, "I'm sorry for what happened to your country," and he said that it's probably good not to be here at this time and to go back home. So I thought I still remember that day. It's one of these days that you don't forget. Just like 3/11, which is 9 years ago today, you don't forget that story either. Here's some of the old bookstores in Jimbocho. Hey, David Kimura, thanks. Yeah. Best time to travel to 1996 to 2001. And then a couple years after that, because the flights were so cheap and it was so easy to travel around. And then the restrictions started coming and it got a lot harder. And it just comes down to how you feel if you should be here or not. Over the last week, I have been doing a lot of live streams and taking you with me to certain locations all over this area. We went to Kawaguchiko by Rent-A-Car, which is where you get amazing views of Mount Fuji, and I think you can see that on the Instagram, as well as a live stream I did 2 days ago. The second live stream that I did was incredible. Fuji Yoshida, seeing the mountain, Mount Fuji in the background of this retro town, is one of the most amazing views, and Kanai and I, we were like, no, we're coming back here and we're gonna spend a night here. A little bit later on when the situation gets better. But renting a car is a really good way to avoid public transportation. We wipe down the steering wheel and everything. We're going to that level because we believe that if we set good habits now, we'll be able to, I'm not sure what they're doing here. If we set good habits now, they're gonna carry through if things do get a little bit more challenging. So that's sort of something that's I'm thinking about. a lot. I don't know. We don't know what the situation is in April or May or in the summer, and I'll keep giving you updates on this. But my feeling is very strongly that if you do come, you're on the fringe of something. That means that there's a risk of this going this way or this way, and we just don't know here in Japan. If Japan locks down, and if more flights cancel, you might be here for a while. If it doesn't, then it's gonna be fine. And for the most part, over the last 1 month, a lot of people have been worried, and a lot of people have come, a lot of people have been fine, and a lot of people have gone home. And a lot of people just, my friend Mike, who came to film some videos, was here through January, and then he left in February, and he's fine. He did the 14-day stay in a log cabin type of thing, and he's fine. So it's just something that you're gonna have to determine, and we've had these talks already several times. The purpose of this is to show you what it's like right now in Tokyo. Yeah, you can do road trips. You don't have to do what everybody else has been doing. In fact, I think if you're a repeater to Japan, you've already seen Kyoto, there's no reason to go back to Kyoto. Get a rent a car or get on the Shinkansen and go north to Tohoku and spend a week exploring Hirosaki and the wonders of Aomori, or go to Akita and ride a bicycle around Ogahanto, the peninsula up there with an imploded volcano that imploded 100,000 years ago, leaving this little lake in the middle of it. It's kind of a unique place, and has a lot of oni demons all over that peninsula. I love Oga Peninsula in Akita Prefecture. There's some places in Kanazawa, the Nodahanto, another peninsula, have some of the best seafood I've ever eaten in my entire life. That place, no problems whatsoever. You can rent a car as low as like $25 a day if you find a good place. Of course, it ends up being a lot more with gasoline and insurance and stuff, but you can find really good deals now in Japan. And just depends on your level of exploration and adventure. But you have to weigh the risks in your family and the money that you put in. I think the more this continues, the more you're going to see airlines just canceling flights. And for those that are on the fringe of, in the way that they don't know if you're going to get your money back. If the flight's canceled, you're going to get your money back. They canceled it. So I think you wait a little bit until you can't, and then make that determination. But everything is up to you. I live here. I'm not a tourist, so I really don't know exactly everything that's going on. I get all my information by talking with you and talking with other journalists and talking with and looking at reputable sites and sources. That's what I do. So, any questions now? I turn it over to you. Archong 89, hoping in May to the usual Golden Route, Onomichi, and Iya Valley. Hopefully things will have calmed down and I can catch you again and take another photo of you standing on a New York Times Square. Hey! Yeah, that was a while ago. That was in New York. Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I probably can't. I'm like trapped here. Me and Kanai are gonna be here for a while. I've had family. Family's not too worried about it, but not family, but I've had friends ask us if we're going to quote unquote evacuate. To where? So it's like, no, we're okay. We're gonna be just fine. We're gonna be just fine. All right, let's go down here. Wow, so the traffic on the streets has gone down a lot since everybody's returned to the office. 1:45 to 1:15 lunch rush is over. Ogasawara would be nice. OCD Steak is reading my mind. I'm very happy with the job that Japan has been doing to try to clamp this down, and also on the businesses that have decided to close and lose money. That's a big decision to make for places like Tokyo Disneyland. They didn't have to do that. They were asked to, and they did it. And it wouldn't surprise me if they stay closed or if they opened right now. if Tokyo Disneyland opens, I think they've been using this time, just like the school systems, to get equipment to monitor people, and they'll have limited openings. Or hey, are these the same ones we saw before? It's hard to tell. I think that they've maybe been using this time to get equipment so they can do screenings before you enter. But it's a lot of business that Tokyo Disneyland has been losing, and Universal Studios. And this is a peak time. They have employees too. They have shareholders too. So that they have to find a way to get their businesses going again. We drove past Fuji-Q Highland 2 days ago as well from Fuji Yoshida. And it was really sad to see nothing in the park. Driving by the Fujiyama roller coaster, which is one of the fastest in the world. It's a crazy roller coaster. It's a pretty good one too. That was not even moving. No screams, no roars of the coaster going by as we drove past there. Didn't even stop. Really quiet. Movie theaters, I believe they're still open. Some of them have cut down on the times, and I think you're required to wear a mask. I'm not sure. Just we have decided not to go out, and one of the reasons why we bought a nice big screen TV was so I could start filming in 4K and check it on a 4K TV. That's one reason. And the other reason is that we can enjoy staying home and hanging out together. But we also like to go out. Look at this whole parking garage here. It's pretty neat. I don't have any idea what the future holds, but I know that Japan is dealing with this in spurts of 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks or so, they're going to be assessing the situation and changing. And if the prime minister can get the power to make changes faster, he's going to. It's a lot of power to give anybody. The prime minister has less power than, let's say, the president of the United States. But look at this interesting back alley barbecue shop. What is that? Oh, it's a coffee shop. It's one of the interesting, colorful cafes that they have here in Jimbocho. Mr. H says, I'm beating a dead horse. Mr. H, in a live stream, not everybody gets the notifications, so I just stay a little bit longer because it's sad for people to miss the live stream. And also, like I said, you can look around and see for yourself that Tokyo is doing just fine. I call this now the neighborhood walk, Mr. H. And you can now enjoy a little bit of the back alleys of Jimbocho, which I've never done before, right? The closures in Hakone, thanks for asking about that. They're mostly businesses that have closed, and they're not. Oh, there's ramen Jiro, isn't that? Wow, look, even they have a line. People really like their ramen. People really like their ramen. And if somebody is complaining that this stream's going too long, just watch something else then. Like, what are you waiting for? Just gonna put that out there. This is a part where I show you and answer your questions and show you what the city looks like right now. Can you suggest an itinerary by car? I don't know. I think that's stuff that you can just find out. I don't want to suggest anything because I work with a lot of the areas in Japan looking for adventures. If you're coming, it depends where. There's so many things to decide on an itinerary. Where are you coming in? Are you coming in through Osaka, Fukuoka, or Tokyo? You know, if you get a rent-a-car, there's a lot of places in the Kansai region that you can go to very easily. Wakayama is a place with a rent-a-car. I think if you have a rent-a-car, you want to go to the places where the trains are. Here's my bicycle. If you get a rent-a-car, you want to go to the places where the trains are not are running and you can't get there by public transportation. In that case, and this is Jimbocho. In that case, I think Wakayama would be really great to go. You can go to places in Nara, up into Yoshinoyama, into the mountains where the trains aren't running as much. You can just drive around Lake Biwako, which is really nice to see Fukui. Go up Route 7 on the Sea of Japan for a couple of days. When I was hitchhiking, I really loved the stretch between Hyogo prefectures, where they have all the Kobe beef, Tajima. There was a stretch from Tajima, and I went all the way up past Obama City in Fukui, up to Fukui City. The Dinosaur Museum in Fukui is world class. In fact, they modeled the Jurassic Park lobby out of the Dinosaur Museum in Fukui, I heard, with the big T-Rex in the center. It's pretty cool coming into that museum. Fukui is where they find a lot of dinosaur fossils in Japan. And then you can just keep up driving up along the Sea of Japan through Ishikawa Prefecture, which is Kanazawa, up Toyama, go up to Kurobe Dam, go into Hakuba from Nagano. You can even enter Nagano a little bit, stay up the Sea of Japan, go up to Niigata, the Sanjo region. Tsubame Sanjo region's famous for copper pots and knives and things, so you can get a samurai sword or knives up in the Tsubame Sanjo region of Niigata. They're famous for steel. Really good deals up there. You just keep going up route north all the way up to Akita and beyond, and eventually get you to Hirosaki and Aomori and Odate, which has the second, I thought was pretty cool, the second Hachiko statue. There's one in Shibuya and there's one in Odate. And if you've seen both, then it's like having Park Place and Boardwalk on your travel itinerary, right? That'd probably be Park Place. Boardwalk would be Shibuya. It's just really expensive there. Kumamoto is a great drive too. If you're coming in Fukuoka, right? You can rent a car from Fukuoka and you can drive around Kumamoto, go around Aso-san, which is an active volcano with amazing hot springs there. You can drive into some of the countryside of Oita Prefecture, which is nice. And definitely don't miss Miyazaki, which is so cool. There's so many places that people just don't know about, including people in Japan. You go down to South Miyazaki, it's so untouched over there, as well as parts of Kagoshima Prefecture. Get away from Sakurajima, which is actually a pretty nice visit. But if you get away from the city of Kagoshima, you'll be rewarded with an amazing views down from Ibuski, and you go around there. That's where they filmed some of the fishing village for the movie You Only Live Twice, the James Bond movie from 1963, I believe. You Only Live Twice, where James Bond becomes Japanese, and Tanaka turns to him and goes, "Bonsan, in Japan, men come first, women come second," something from a different era. That's no longer the case. I think the most powerful person in Japan might be the Prime Minister's wife, to be honest with you. That's a fishing village down in Kagoshima. That wasn't... and very few people actually make it down to that fishing village where he has his wedding. Sean Connery did back then. The only way to get there, rent a car. There's no train or motorcycle. Hokkaido is also a wonderful place that you can rent a car, drive around Hokkaido. I did that in February. Awesome adventure. I loved it so much. Kitami, Lake Akan, which is super cold. I wish I had more time to go there. Go more to the east, where you can find onsen springs just popping out of the ground. Test the water to make sure it's not like deadly hot. Make sure the locals say it's okay, and jump in. You can have a hot spring stay there. It's pretty amazing. There's too many places. There's too many places. Yeah. I'm reading your comments now. Japan. Hi, John. I will be there in 1 week. This is from Ninja Lee. If you're out and about, would you like to join a stream of yours? Catch me if you can. I'm flying in from the U.S. Catch me if you can. I'm not doing any meetups or planning to at this time. So if you find me, everyone's more than welcome to come and say hi. You know, I don't mind. I got cards right here. If you come and find me. This is the Jimbocho area. Immanuel Kant, thank you. That's nice. I love these animated little emojis. They give me a little energy when you see it. Okay, so this is called the Kanda Suzuran Dori, where we've been walking up and down. It is a pretty nice street. Do you want me to walk down further? I think, didn't we walk down here? Restaurants are mostly open in Tokyo. But the situation is outside in the countryside, especially places that have relied heavily on foreign tourists, tourists from China, packaged tourists. Please realize that about 75% of the tourists came from 3 countries: Korea, China, and Hong Kong, and Taiwan. I should say Taiwan too. A lot of tourists come from Taiwan, more from Taiwan than the United States, for example. And with all these closures and package tours ended 2 months ago, they were suspended, and now all flights and all tourists coming from China have to do a 2-week in-house stay. I'm doing air quotes. It's not a good situation for the economy, and those places that relied on that tourism are now closing quickly. And every day on the TV news here in Japan, we're watching like families being interviewed on the hardships and the fact that they miss the smiles of the tourists. They miss those happy times and having fun at the job of serving their customers, and they can't do that anymore. And that's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking. So I'm walking down the street so you can get a look and see that the businesses are open on the left and the right. There's a Daiso here that's opened as well. So there's a Dotoro coffee shop that's open. Pretty nice looking sandwich right there. Books of Tokyodo. They're open. And everyone walking around, probably working at one of the offices here, taking lunch at an unusual time. Not a lot of tourists. I think I saw 2. Not a lot of tourists know this area. The best bookstore for English books would be the Maruzen in Tokyo Station. And I believe there's one in Shinjuku. I don't know if it's still open near the Tokyo Hans at the Times Square location on the south side of Shinjuku Station. The 7th floor was dedicated to foreign books. It was massive. But it's been years since I was there. Maruzen in Tokyo Station, I heard, was really big too, with foreign books. 7-Eleven is open. Everything is pretty much open in the city. It's places where people come together, like events such as C+, which is a big event at the end of February for cameras, was canceled. And since then, theme parks, places where people line up and come together, have been closed. Events have been canceled, concerts. It's kind of sad. This is a restaurant with a pretty good set menu. Guys are lining up to eat in there. Wow, this is Kitchen Nankai. Oh, this is one. So Jimbocho is also famous. Look at the line to get in here. Jimbocho is also famous for curry rice. All right, and this place won an award, I guess in 2018. And it smells amazing coming out of here. This is a little restaurant in the alley here. There's a gyoza restaurant, old school family-run business. They're always going to do good because there's so many office buildings in this area. People got to eat. People got to eat. So it's up to you. As I said, traveling to Japan, we're on the fringe of something. For those that are joining us, I'm in Jimbocho. The Prime Minister made some announcements yesterday. Go back and watch the playback. I'm not going to go over them again. As I stated in the beginning, the first 15 minutes or so has most of the information you need, and then the next 30 minutes I spend answering your questions and showing you around. So whether you come here or not, it just depends on your comfort level and how you feel. Keep up to date, everybody. Look at the websites from the center of DC, the CDC, and the World Health. They have all the stuff that you need to make sure that you know what's going on. Let the professionals do all the research for us, and all the internet sites, let them say what they want to say. You can take what you want from this, but I think it's important to see what it's like in Tokyo right now. And this is what it's like. Do you think is decreasing or increasing? I don't know. I think the numbers speak for themselves. I've been going to Wikipedia to take a look at this every morning, and they've done a pretty good job of keeping their site up to date. And there are lots and lots of sites now that have up-to-date information. You have to go to the source that you trust the most. But I would go to the organizations with science-backed info. But I've cross-checked everything from the Wikipedia site with those sites, and it's dead. It's I shouldn't say that, but it's spot on. It's spot on. That's why I'll be making a donation in our name, meaning all of us, to Wikipedia for the good job that they've been doing. So I'm just gonna go around the block one more time, and then we'll end the live stream. This is Jimbocho. It's a pretty nice area. I like to come to this area of Japan, of Tokyo, because of the cafe life, and I used to work at Shueisha about 10 years ago. Now I work for you. Any more questions? Oh, the cherry blossoms. Yeah, almost all of them, the festivities have been canceled, but the blossoms will be opening ahead of schedule, probably in a few days. And then, oh wow, Japanese beef. I don't have any beef with that. And there's tapas. It's a pretty good menu. It's in the alleys where you find some really special places. There's actually one of the best curry restaurants in Japan is here, in one of the alleys. I think it might be the other way. But Jimbocho's famous for curry. Here's another restaurant, just alley restaurant. Look at that. It looks like yakisoba with an egg on it. Gave him the head bob. Yeah, I'm filming. Right now it's 20 degrees Celsius, or about 68 degrees. I have a jacket on because temperature can drop quickly. All right, this is a secret place for the 2,000 people watching, still watching. I'm taking you down here. Don't come here. Forget that I introduced this place to you, all of you. Please don't remember. This is a cafe that I love to come to that should not get any media at all. All right, this is top secret. Radodiro is the first place with the Wiener coffee, and I say that as in terms of Vienna. Ladrio in English. And this building has been around for a very long time. Inside, the seats were made for people that are 5 feet tall. Another era. And it is the first place that had coffee with whipped cream on it. And the cake set is a ridiculous 737 yen. And you can get a pretty good chicken curry and a Neapolitan with a coffee for 1,000 yen as a set. lunchtime till 5. I've come here and sat in this seat here many times. And this is a bar cafe. It's also pretty special, but it has a lot of history going way back to the early Showa era. It's closed right now. I think it opens in the evening. Don't come here. I did not introduce this to you. I'm not rewarding you for sticking around because Mr. H said I'm beating a dead horse. How dare you make that statement to all horses around the world? You deserve better treatment. Stop the beating. I told you not to go there. Hey, who wrote that? ZXE10 told us to go there. I did the opposite. I told you not to go there. But to some people that might mean to go there. So I don't know. Like I said, if I tell you not to come to Japan, you're probably just going to come to Japan anyways. So I tell you to come, people do the opposite. I don't know. It's weird the way the world works. You come out of the alley and you see an old bookstore. I love Tokyo. I love this area of Tokyo. We come out of this alley, boom, books on the street, books from 50, 60, 70 years ago. Collections being sold. It's kind of neat. I think this is the one with the old maps of Tokyo, but this is how they used to sell books. And I think I used to stand here 20 years ago and these tags were still here 20 years ago like this. I can't understand how they sell these books, but this is what the windows look like. It smells like old books, like an old library. Yeah. So there you have it. I really don't have anything to do, but don't panic. Relax, everybody. It's nothing to worry about here in Japan. I'm doing fine. It's a tendon restaurant with udon. Beautiful day. Oh, here's the map restaurant, store. Yeah, they had an old map from the Edo period, and I wanted to buy it, but they'd sold it. It was kind of pricey. Oh, here it is. And then they have something else in the window there. They used to have old maps of the city, old art, like really old manga from another time period. Look at that. Ridiculously expensive, but if you're a collector, totally worth it. This is the stuff that you'll find in the windows of Jimbocho. How much? It's so much you have to negotiate with the owner. You'll have to go in there, walk in there and talk with him. He'll tell you. If he likes you, the price might be lower. That's how it works. Everything is a negotiation. Oh, that looks good. They're sold. Those two just walked in. They go, "Oishiso, that looks good." They walked in. All right, folks, we've gone in for an hour. I hope this is useful for you. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button because I will be giving another update in about 72 hours. More announcements are going to be coming as a result. And I believe when the 15th hits, in 4 days' time, we're going to see which businesses have decided to stay open and have decided to open and which ones have not. And you can also come to the Discord server, which was just introduced here. And I welcome everybody on Instagram because I'm doing daily updates on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, what are you doing with your time? Probably getting work done. But it's my Instagram. I'm recycling this. I've been using it for like a year now. Glenn writes in Instagram ? I stopped using Facebook. So if you're starting to write me on Facebook, don't expect a response. I don't really use it that much, but I will forward some things there. Instagram is more visual. I don't know. It's kind of more fun. All right, folks. This is where we started and this is where we're ending. Have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are in the world. Thanks so much for watching these updates. Questions, leave them in the comments below. Hit me up on Discord. I will answer you if you tag me. At least I will try to. But we got 6,000 or 7,000 people in the Discord server now, which is really cool. A lot of them are living here, and they're going to be able to help you out if you have any more questions to follow up. Get the answers from the people on the street here. Other people on the street, not these people. I don't think they are on our Discord server. Bye, guys. Have a good day.